Alright, so I've got my kick plate, the remaining piece of the kick plate that we didn't use. Remember, we cut the one end off and used it for the electrical panel top plate. And we're taking the remaining piece and we're going to make our control box. And this will be mounted beside the touchscreen monitor. And this will house our e-stop, a key spindle lock switch to disable the spindle. It will house our power on button and two of these little illuminated rocker switches. One will disable our coolant and the other will power our computer and monitor. I've drawn this up in two different sizes so that you can utilize the kick plate. If you don't have an extra piece of aluminum stock to make it 9 inches long, you can just make it 3 inches by 8 inches. And then mount your accessory port on the side. It's not really a big deal. There'll be plenty of room, I believe, and you should be just fine. So to lay this out, we're going to just put our center mark. Now I like using Sharpies, and they're permanent, but you can wipe them off with alcohol. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is mark the center of our 8-inch panel, which is 4 inches. And our sides are actually going to be, our box is going to actually be 2 inches tall. So I'm going to mark 2 inches, like so. We're going to draw our line for our side. That's 2 inches. And then our panel is 9 inches long. So I want to mark 9 inches for the other side. I apologize for this lighting. I don't know how it's showing up on this video, but and then another 2 inches. Now this is 9 inches long, but you can also, if you're going to use this piece for your front plate, you can see we have 3.5 inches, so there'll be a 3-inch piece remaining, and it's already 8 inches long. Just make your center section 8 inches. So this will be either 8 inches or 9 inches, depending on which size you choose. Alright. So let's get our ends laid out. So our center section is going to be 3 inches. So that'll be 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. And then our sides will be 2 inches. Get this end laid out. 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Now on this side we're also going to have a wing, so that'll be a 1/2 inch wing on each side. Alright, get these lines drawn. This will be our fold line. This will also be our fold line. This will be a fold line. And this will be a fold line. Okay, we'll be clipping the corners here. And also over here. Okay, well, that pretty much lays it out. Let's see. This dimension is 3 inches from here to here. This is 8 or 9 from this line to this line. This dimension is 2 inches. Our box is going to be 2 inches tall. Then we have a 1/2 inch here to here. These are a 1/2 inch. And I believe that'll be about it. These will be folded right here. That relieves the remaining piece over here for our top, if you're going with a 8-inch box. We couldn't get rid of those holes, but if you go with the 9-inch box, you're going to need another piece. Anyways, this is 10 inches long actually, but if you go with the 9-inch box, you'll need another plate for the face plate. So we'll have our power on, then we'll have our spindle lockout, then our e-stop. We'll have coolant, CPU, and then a DIN plug for our accessory. Something like that. And that should be good. We'll fold the ends up like so, and our box will be 2 inches deep and 3 inches wide. So I'm going to get this cut out and we'll get it folded up. Now I don't have a fancy brake, so I'm going to have to improvise on these bends. Alright, well, I just took some sheet metal shears and cut the panel out. Now it's just a matter of folding everything over. Alright, so now it's time to get this bent up, and you really have to kind of think about this for a minute before you start bending, because you don't want to work yourself into a position where you can't get an edge bent. So the first thing I'm going to do is bend these two flanges up 90 degrees, and then we'll come and do this bend, and then this bend, and then at the end we'll bend the last thing we'll do is bend the ends up. So because this is aluminum, it's not that difficult to bend. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of hang this over the side of my table. I'm going to clamp it, and then I'll just bend it up. So let me get it in position and we'll take care of that. Okay, so I've got the flange clamped on that line, and hopefully I can just bend it up. Let me see if I can get a camera out of the one here. There we go. Okay, it's about as good as I'm going to get it. So unclamp it. See what we got. It's not quite 90, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, so next we'll do this end. So we'll stick this in here, clamp it up, and bend it as well. Okay, and now we're going to do this long edge here. Now my piece is not long enough to go across the whole thing, so what I'm going to do is use a thinner piece, and hopefully this will work. Okay, well, I've put some supports on here to try to make this a little stiffer and press this down. We're going to see how this goes. It's a long bend, so it's a little bit more difficult, but hopefully we can get it to bend. Right in the middle there. Let's see if I got something I can use. There we go. It's always good to have scrap stuff around, huh? Well, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty successful. Yeah, that's pretty successful. It's not quite 90, but we can get that back to where it needs to be. And that'll be good. Alright, I'm going to set it up. We're going to do the last section here. Okay, got it clamped up to do my next bend. And I'm just using this behind it to help me get it up evenly. Okay, I think that's pretty good. As good as I can get with this setup. Again, not necessarily 90, but we can bend the rest by hand. Alright, it's going to be looking good. Now we just need to fold the ends up, and our cover will go on like so. We'll have a nice control box. Alright, let me get the ends set up. Get those. Okay, for the end I just stuck a piece inside, and I'm just going to fold the sides up. Alright, got the other side clamped up. I had to use a different piece, a shorter piece, because that was too long. Alright, well, we finished up the box. And now we just need to do the faceplate. Then that will mount on the side of the monitor. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thumbs up if you like the video. And most importantly, be safe.